tenure as Executive Director comes to an end in just a few days. And I want to take this opportunity to introduce to you my colleague, Eric Solheim, who has been a very close envoy and partner to the UNEP report here in Nigeria and has just been elected by the General Assembly to be the future Executive Director of UNEP. So I want to assure you that this commitment of UNEP to support you and to walk with you in the implementation of this restoration program is in very good hands. Excellency, if you allow me, I would like to end with a quote which originally was part of persuading me as Executive Director to say to my team in UNEP, who is sitting here on the left, that this is a great risk for us to take, but it is a just cause, and it is where we were needed. I want to end with a quote of a famous Nigerian, a son of this country, and a loved son of the Ogoni. It was, or were, his famous last words. We all stand before history. I am a man of peace of ideas, appalled by the denigrating poverty of my people who live on a richly endowed land, distressed by their political marginalization and economic strangulation, angered by the devastation of their land, their ultimate heritage, anxious to preserve their right to life and to a decent living, and determined to usher to this country as a whole a fair and just democratic system which protects everyone and every ethnic group and gives us a valid claim to human civilization. I have devoted my intellectual and material resources, my very life, to a cause in which I have total belief and from which I cannot be blackmailed or intimidated. I have no doubt at all about the ultimate success of my cause, no matter the trials and tribulations which I and those who believe with me may encounter on our journey. Neither imprisonment nor death can stop our ultimate victory. It is in the memory of the people and many generations for whom Ken Saro-Wiwa spoke on the day of his execution that I think we all return to this place and, at least, while never justifying the loss of a life, can perhaps at least give some meaning to the sacrifice of those who are not with us here today. That is why we in the United Nations Environment Programme took the decision to be part of this effort, and you can count on us to stand on your side in the years to come. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Mr. President, all causes of that, please permit me, because of the special times we are in, to specially recognize in our midst the Honorable Minister of Defense, Brigadier General Mansur Dan Ali. I also want to specially recognize all the GOCs that are representing the various divisions here. Please, can we put our hands together for them? The security, the army, the military, navy, police, air force, DSS, all, we specially recognize all of you because you have done so well for us. We'll always be grateful. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, my privilege now to invite to the microphone Right Honorable Chibukero Timi Amechi.
Vice President, Your Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, Your Excellencies, my colleagues in the serving Senator, Your Excellency, the Senator Bukara Ali, right? Abba Ibrahim, who was once a governor and now a senator. Your Excellencies, my colleagues in the Cabinet, Your Majesty, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm privileged to address you today, not as your governor, but as a minister representing Rivers State in the Cabinet. I'm delighted, Mr. President, to recall that one day a gentleman walked into my office and told me, then I was governor of Rivers State, that he's a representative of UNEP and that he needed the Rivers State government assistance to be able to carry out an assessment of the damage that pollution had caused on Ogoni land. Then Senator Magnus Abe was the Secretary to State Government, and I approached him and requested that I needed him to carry out this function. He did his best, but there was a need for me to address Ogoni people. So I called for a stakeholders meeting in which literally all Ogoni chiefs, leaders, and elders were at Bori. And I pleaded with them that they must allow UNEP to step in. They didn't want to see UNEP, they didn't want to see Shell. And I asked them one question, and I'll repeat the question. Do you trust me? And everybody said, yes, we trusted you. And I said, if you trust me, let them go in. I will defend Ogoni land. And that is the story of UNEP. So they allowed Mike to go in. There were attempts to kidnap them. I won't forget Brigadier General, now Major General retired, S.Y. Bello. He and I were always in the bush running and chasing criminals, not to kidnap Mike and his team. Mike made a mistake. He addressed the press in Switzerland when some hoodlums from Ogoni began to break pipes. And he said, they are polluting the land the more, and the Ogoni people got angry. Again, I intervened and I pleaded with the Ogoni people not to get angry. Let us achieve the report so I will know how to move on from there. Your Excellency, the rest is history. Who be your brother? That's the second part of the history. The second part of the history, Your Excellency, is that we did everything possible as sitting government to get our brother and our leader, the former president, to implement the UNEP report. We did everything, Your Excellency, and I will use the word everything, including going to church to pray. And UNEP report was not implemented. I was then, by accident of God, appointed the Director General of the Buhari campaign organization. The day I was to go with the president to Calabar, I saw a delegation of Ogoni people in my house. And they requested that I please plead with you. Then General Buhari, who was not a president, he was a presidential candidate, to kindly see them in their natural habitat. They want to receive him and make a demand. I looked at the time. I had a problem of time management because I needed to deliver him in Calabar and to another part of the country the same day. We are taking 2 states per day. I think it was Calabar and Delta, and we were running late. We came in, and the president agreed to come. Today, again, that is history, because there he promised, I will implement the UNEP report. Mr. President, we are gathered here today in keeping with that promise. I'm sure that we all know that in keeping with that promise, the economy of Ogoni people will change. Do you agree? Yes. Do you agree? Yes. In keeping with that promise, we agree that there is no way they will spend $1 billion here that we shall not create employment. Do you agree? Yes. In keeping with that promise, the micro economy will change. Will it? Yes. May God bless President Buhari. His Majesty asked me to announce that he gave President a chieftaincy title called Mene Nwale. Is that how it's pronounced? Mene Nwale, one of Ogoni land. So I'm taking this to the President. Maybe I'll give it to Minister for the President.
Well, thank you very much. The Minister for Transportation, Right Honorable Rotimi Chibike Amechi. Now, the Minister of Environment, Amina Mohammed, in her courtesy visit to the Governor of Rivers State, reiterated that the cleanup exercise should go beyond partisanship and we should look to a collective, a collaboration to ensure the success of this exercise. And on that note,